We're here at the New York Comic Con with master comic artist Gene Colan, whose career spans, what, four decades now?
From 46.
From 1946 in the comics, so 6 decades, excuse me. Now, Gene, you're traveling incognito. You've got
my wife's with me.
The black on. You've got your shades on.
Yep.
It's because you have glaucoma,
yep,
which we were just talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if your pressure goes up, you don't feel it, you don't know it.
Right.
You find out if you have an eye doctor look at it, he'll tell you right off the bat.
Yeah, they do the test real quick, and they know that it's happening.
Once it goes way up, that means chances are you have it.
But let's talk about your career
Sure.
in comics, because you've obviously overcome this. You're still drawing.
Yes.
And you started drawing in 46.
1946.
And what was it? What was the impetus? What got you into comics when you were young? Why did you?
I think
decide?
the movies.
Really?
Yeah, motion pictures got me into it because I love the films, and I always wondered about the lighting of the films and how they did all the trickery on the screen.
Right.
And 98% of the movies at that time were black and white. I just fell right into it. You know, you never know. I was very young. I think the first drawing I ever did when I was 3.
Really?
Yeah. My parents held on to it for a long time. It was a lion, a picture of a lion.
Wow.
And from that point on, I started to fan out.
MGM, you must have seen an MGM movie.
I might have.
And it's interesting that you were started by black and white movies, because your work is a black and white, a lot of black and white wash is what you really like to do.
I think in those terms.
Because you think in terms of that kind of thing.
Right.
And of course the character Silverblade, it is Silverblade.
Yes.
Right? You did that, and that is a film character. He was a film star.
Well, it wasn't when I did it.
It wasn't.
Marv, excuse me, I was working with Marv on the Dracula series.
Right.
And he was coming up with various characters that he introduced into the series, and Silverblade was one of them.
Okay.
So he came up with the idea of Silverblade, and we spoke about it, and I dressed him up. I gave him the visual look.
Right, right.
And he introduced the idea of he should be a black man, and
is that Blade, you mean?
Blade.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're talking about Blade or Silverblade?
Silverblade was the character that jumped out of the screen, right? He came out of
Silverblade was.
It was for DC.
It was for DC. That's a different book.
Yeah, yeah. But you were there for the creation of Blade, and that grew out of the Dracula, the Tomb of Dracula series.
Well, I wanted to do the series for Stan Lee.
Right.
I thought it was right up my alley, and he wasn't so sure, so I figured I would audition for it on my own. He didn't know it.
Right.
I took a day off from regular work, and I worked up a page of how I thought Dracula should look, and I sent it in, and I got it immediately.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. But now you had been working for Marvel for quite some time.
Oh, from 46 on.
Right, so... Right. You started by doing the westerns and the sci-fi and the romance comics for Marvel.
Yeah, a lot of westerns, and finally I got my own book. I think the first book was Daredevil.
Was Daredevil.
Yeah.
And this was the reinvention of Daredevil, along with the reinvention of a lot of the old characters.
Right.
This new vision of Daredevil you were on pretty much from the beginning.
Oh, pretty much,
It was your guy.
John Romita did a little bit of it before I did
it.
I don't know how long he was on it, maybe a year or so, maybe less, I don't know. And,
how long were you on Daredevil?
Oh, a long time.
Yeah.
Many years. And then I branched out into other Submariner, Captain America.
Right.
It was a good training ground.
Well, you were a member of the Bullpen.
I was a member of the Bullpen.
And at the time, were you sitting there working in the offices?
Yes.
With everybody else?
The art director was Sid Shores. He's gone now, but he showed me so many things. He's such a sweet man. The memories that I have. We were working in the Empire State Building. We were so high up on the floor that there was a sway to the building.
Oh, wow.
You could really feel it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, so all of you were basically in the room working together. So you were all learning
we were all together.
and trying things and learning from each other. Was there a sense of competitiveness or
not really,
camaraderie?
Not camaraderie. Oh, did we have fun.
Who were the guys that you were hanging out with?
Oh, let me see. I can remember some names. Don Rico,
Sure.
Al Bellman.
Just a gang of artists in their youth.
Well, Sid Shores was there. And an Inca by the name of Vince Alacia was there. Rudy LePic was another Inca. He branched out and went over to Archie Comics and spent the rest of his career there.
Gotcha.
So there were quite a few. Freddie Yang was one of the fastest Incas around. We would all start out on a Monday evenly spaced, one desk behind the other.
Right.
And at the back of the room was a long art room, and at the back was a window.
Right.
Come Friday, Sid was in the last seat in the row. Yeah. He was practically out the window. From getting up and moving out and pushing our chairs back, all the desks were backed up to the end. We had a good time. Yeah. I think we had a better time just kibitzing around. And then we had drawing, but we did both.
The energy of that pace and that room came out in the comics. All that energy went right onto the page.
Yes. Yeah, we enjoyed it. Yeah. It was the beginning of a career. Yeah. And if it weren't for Stan, God knows where I would have been. Yeah, Stan gave me my first opportunity.
That's great. And then from Marvel, you moved to DC?
The Marvel, it was like a revolving door. Right. Once the staff broke up, we were on our own. Okay. So everybody had to freelance. So you get work wherever you can get it.
With both companies.
With both.
Yeah.
And then I went over to DC. I got work from them. I couldn't get any work from DC before I hooked up with Marvel. Really? Marvel was called Timely Comics at that time. Sure. I couldn't get a thing from DC. Yeah. But they did tell me to go to school. And I did. Yeah. I didn't want to hear that, but I did.
Where'd you go?
Art Students League.
Okay.
I went there for a couple of years, and when I got out of the service, I continued my education there. And then I went back and decided to go over to Marvel. What the heck? I tried DC, and I wasn't accepted, so I figured maybe Marvel would, and they did right off the bat. I was thrilled. I was like, won the jackpot.
That's great. And you did a lot of work for both companies.
Yes.
And then you began to now you're doing more of your own work. Is that right?
Now, at present time.
What are you working on now?
Well, I do a lot of commissions now.
Right.
Not so much continuity drawing for books or anymore. Right. Not comic books, but commission drawings. Fans will write in and tell me they want some of the superheroes doing different things, and so that's what I spend my time.
Daredevil and Captain Marvel,
right? All of them.
How do people get in? Do you have a website?
I have a website.
What is your website?
GeneColan.com.
Simple enough.
Yeah.
All right. And now this has just come out. This is from Tomorrow's Publishing.
Yes.
And this is Secrets in the Shadows.
That's right. It tells all about
Art and Life of Gene Colan.
Yeah.
And people can pick this up at any comic book store?
I would think so, yes.
That's great. And this tells your entire history.
Everything.
It's really a terrific book.
Yes.
And what do you see? Do you have any plans for doing sequential art again?
Oh, it's the older you get, the harder it gets.
I understand.
And it takes forever to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was much younger, I could turn out 2 pages in a day. It was a long day, though.
Yeah.
And now I can't turn out 2 pages in a week. It's very hard. But I'm enjoying it. I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
I probably, if I didn't have any of it to do, I'd still draw it. I mean, I have other ideas that I want to do, but not comics. Mostly illustration.
Yeah.
Or fine arts, if you can call it that. Illustration and fine arts dovetail. They're very similar in nature.
Yeah. Well, it's a real pleasure talking to you. We hope to catch up with you again.
Thank you.
And
you're a great interviewer.
Oh, thanks.
You have a very great interview.
For more information, visit GeneColan.com. We'll be right back with more characters here at ComicologyTV.
Thank you.
Thank you.